Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to another match day ticket, this time at home to Portsmouth. All is happy in the kingdom. No one is unhappy. No one is discontented. No one dislikes the man behind me. We are all happy. We are all jolly. We are all full of the festive period. And of course, fans are flocking back to Portman Road. I believe it was oversubscribed in the end. So we are all happy. And we've got one man to thank for that. Cheers, Uncle Paul. Welcome back to my friends. I've got some chats flying off in the chat section, which I'm absolutely loving. Get them in. Get those comments in. What do you think of the team? What do you think of our chances today? Another top six side that we were taking on. We've got to get a result. But yeah, we're all happy. And if you're happy and you know it, well, you know the rest. Who am I joined by with today? Well, I'm joined by two devoted fans. First and foremost, I'll bring in a woman that needs no introduction ever. So I won't give her one. It is, of course, Amy Downs. Welcome in, Amy. How you doing?
Hello, hello. Doesn't it feel like the first game of the season today? It just feels really special. Like there's a real build up to it. I'm really enjoying. Like I've been looking forward to it. I'm like excited for everybody who's getting to go. I'm still convinced we're going to lose, but we're not having any unhappy people today, are we, Martin? We are being positive.
There is not an unhappy voice in the land. Before we came live, we were talking about Disney, which was an interesting topic for a match day. I've never had that in the pub before a game.
You're not running in the right circles, Martin.
If Paul Lambert was a Disney character, Amy, which Disney character would Paul Lambert be?
Oh gosh, that you put me on the spot. I'm trying to think of all the baddies, but they're all too cunning. It needs to be like, in Peter Pan.
Yep.
He is Smee. So he's not really got a clue. Do you know what I mean? He's just a bit silly and a bit useless. Eeyore. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Stephen Parry, with Plasma Way back, the win today could change the dynamic and change the mood. It certainly could. Jiffy, I'm in the ground. Feels a bit weird.
Oh, amazing.
Look, this is awesome. Jiffy knows the score. Goes to the game, but still tune into the ticket because you can take us anywhere. We can go anywhere except on aeroplanes because you can't get a Wi-Fi on an aeroplane. But that's
if seeing as you're not going to be spending half time at the bar, you can come and join us instead.
Absolutely.
And we'll have the pint for you.
We actually do have people from the ground joining us at full time. I have already.
How exciting!
I know. Well, it is if you're happy to be back. We've got the Cruncher. Great to see the happy clappers back. Oh, we can't say that word.
Not loud.
Simo. Mr. Judge again, angry face, Barry Mann, can't wait to be back in Portman Road on Tuesday. So, who is going to make up the third member of our team? It is, of course, a man who's been on previously, I think last week. That time just seems out of this world strange with everything that goes on in life. So I think it was last week, but it is, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Ben. Looking fresh, Ben.
Good to see you. Can you hear me this week?
We can hear you.
Fantastic.
We can see you.
That's a great start.
And we can see the beautiful Christmas tree that has set off Christmas tree wars between you and the Cruncher. The Cruncher making a point to make sure his tree is in the shot every time.
It's not a war if I always win. It's just a skirmish I get involved in sometimes. So that's okay.
Owen
mine
Davis
wins, surely.
Yeah, as I said
surely
before,
mine wins. It's blue and white.
As I said before to you, Amy, words escape me on that tree.
There's a special that bauble there, this silver one with little blue houses on, that one came from Milan 19 years ago when we went there, when we went to the San Siro. So it's a special tree. It might not be big, but it's it's special. I bet you boys have had that said to you
Apparently,
before.
I'm told planes have Wi-Fi these days. So
Okay, so they can listen to it on the plane.
there is absolutely no excuse for you to never, ever miss a match day ticket ever again. I'm not buying it anymore, guys. You've just opened yourself up. Benjamin, honestly, it feels like ages ago since this show was last on, and a rare occasion. Ben's mic is working. Yes, it does. For some
It
weird
is indeed, although depending what I say about Lancaster, I think a lot of people probably prefer my mic not be working. But he starts today. I'm glad he does, because I will say that a bit like a couple of other players, the more he plays, I think the better he does look to get. As I said, he'll never be a world beater, but as far as getting a bit of consistency and showing a little bit of something else, as I said, play him. Let's find out. Let's all kind of find out together where he goes with a bit of a consistent run. If I were to choose his personal position, I'd like him to be up in a 4-4-2. As it works out, he's now supporting Jackson, who looked as if he's on his own up top. Bit disappointed at the formation again today, because although Lambert says we never do 4-4-2, we never have two strikers play together, funnily enough, after about 70 minutes is actually how we end every single game. So there must be something to it, Paul. And when it kind of changed last week, okay, we had the 11th man sent off. But when he played Hawkins up in that supporting role, wow, we actually looked a bit of a different team. And that's not about Hawkins, that's about the formation, because there was support for our attacker. So I think he should have gone 4-4-2 today. He hasn't. But at 70 minutes, he probably will when we're 1 or 2-0 down, because it's going to be a hard one today.
Okay. Well, I'll bring the graphic on the screen for the team. You mentioned the one up front. It is the same team as previous, just with Dazelle coming in. I've been working on that pronunciation. I hope it's correct now. With Dazelle coming in for McGavin. So
you're not twice. He covers so much ground. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I need to change that. I'm just going to change that now. We've got more. I've been on the sauce already, boys and girls. I've been on the Christmas spirit.
That might be the only way we can beat them.
Once enough, Jesus Christ.
I know. Trust me, I know more than anybody. I must have hated putting that in twice. Anyway, there it is on the right. There's the correct team, as I believe it to be. Jackson up front on his own, as you've alluded to there, Ben. I'm happy with that front four. I banged the drum last week, Amy. I said the formation, because Mike Brown, great Mike Brown, great good football brain, came on the show. He said the formation was all wrong. Again today, I've seen him message me and say that the formation's all wrong. I actually felt the formation last week with this personnel was correct, and I felt Jackson wasn't isolated. He wasn't alone, and actually Lancaster, Dobra, and Judge, yes, Alan Judge, supported him. And I feel today, again, this front four, with their movement and their trickery, maybe not Judge's trickery, but his ability to pick a pass, he can do that still, just offers us something, whereas a front two maybe is easy to defend.
Well, he seems to be probably rightly so, that he seems to be a bit the fall guy, this Judge. But I think Cruncher said it quite accurately, I think last week or the week before, that he always shows for the ball. Whatever his limitations are, and there are many.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think he's playing in a team that doesn't particularly suit. Let's forget our first team is essentially out. So this is the plan B. People say we're looking for the plan B. You're seeing it every week. What he does always do is show for the ball. He's always running. Okay, he might not do too much with it and nothing too spectacular, but I do always appreciate a player who will show, who will at least take the risk to receive the ball. And I can't say that for all of our players.
Amy?
Yeah, agreed. When I saw the lineup, I thought this was potential to have that 4-4-2. And like Ben says, that's how we ended the game that we won last week. So it feels a bit frustrating that he's gone back to one up front. But really, when you look at it, you're absolutely bang on. I think the number of times I've been on this show with you and we've had that conversation, whether the problem with one up front is that you can't leave them stranded and our midfielders leaving them stranded, but we're getting somewhere like a closer to a midfield that would probably be our first choice, obviously minus Bishop and Downs now. So it feels like they're not quite so stranded. Jackson won't be stranded. And also it gives Judge that it pushes him further up the pitch rather than having to be sort of in a central four, if that makes sense. So, and I'm totally with Ben on that. That I give Judge a lot of leeway because I think he's a good player. And you're right, he is always the one that's there, making space, finding the right position to get himself. And he does, he assists our chances when he's in the right mood. But no, I don't think it's mood. I just think it's not quite fallen right for him again this season. But yeah, absolutely. And happy to see Jackson and Dobra as well. Actually, I didn't watch last weekend, so I'll be looking forward to seeing Dobra play.
You missed the treat because I said on the show last weekend, Ben was here with me. I said, look, you've all been calling for him, so I want to see something today. I want to see this readiness that I keep hearing about. And last week, to his credit, he stood up and played well. Week before, in my book, not so much. I think on your Judge point, I think you're correct in the assists. He hasn't, he can pick a pass, and I just think if you put him with players like Dobra and Jackson, who are quick, who like to move into channels, Judge can find those people, and I think Judge is a circumstance of being played with people that are static. MSU's static, definitely. John Nolan static. Alan Judge can't play with those people because he needs to be the one that's static and the pieces around him moving. Yeah. When he's asked to be the mover, it's not his game anymore.
Agreed.
If ever.
I agree, and I think I was just looking at the comments. Is it Michael Finch? He said if we can keep it below 2 goals conceded within 12 minutes, we might stand a chance. Well, that's actually more correct than you think of this, because we are conceding a lot of early goals. So whatever plan from our Plan B team is put into place, we're always chasing a game. I want to get to half time without conceding. I'm not saying we're probably going to score, but let's at least build on something, because Pompey, they're a good team. They've got a strong midfield, they've got a good defence. We don't want to be chasing them, and they're not going to have a player sent off where it changes the entire game. They're going to end. They're a disciplined side. I've been kind of looking at the highlights. I've been looking at their forwards. They're a disciplined side. They're not going to give you the silver platter that we were handed, the Christmas present we were handed last week. So my thing, so what do we have to do with that? First off, don't concede. And I know I'm kind of coming from the Mick McCarthy school of thinking here, but first of all, don't concede. Really important. Let's get to half an hour and have it at 0-0. And try and build on something, because we do not want to chase these guys today. We really don't.
Mr. Lancaster, Ipswich will attack today and get at Portsmouth. That's Jack's dad, so welcome him. Glad you could join us. Jack, obviously, included again today. I'm really happy about that. I think a run of games for a young player is always good, particularly a player with so much potential. And it's no secret we're a big Jack Lancaster fan on the show. Him and Chambers down the right, if I'm correct in placing him down the right, is an interesting thing. But equally more interesting, Ben, or just as equal, is Lancaster's ability to play sort of anywhere up behind that striker. So he
can. I mean, you can put him in Dobra or Judge's role, and I would say, I think that's bang on. And that is, I think he still has to, I want to see him go up a level. But the one thing he does have now is the ability to kind of interchange, whereas I would say that not a lot of other players do. So I mean, on the right hand side, I think that's where he predominantly is, on the kind of the right behind the striker. And look, keep playing. Let's see what he does. And from what I said about his prospects 4 or 5 games ago, as I said, no one will be more pleased than I to be proved wrong. So get out there and shut me up, because I will be happy as anything if you do. Support that striker.
Am I right, Amy, in being as excited as I am about a front four that can all move around and be interchangeable? Because I feel if I'm a centre half, and I've played centre half the whole of my footballing career, and it was a very short footballing career, but I still played it. I always hated players that you had to keep a track of, like Hawkins, for example. I'm sorry to bring his name up into this conversation without him playing. He'll play centrally. You ain't got to worry about him drifting to the channel or drifting out wide. And Marcus Stewart had that in his bag as well. He had the ability to drift anywhere in that corridor. Yeah, he did. And a lot of his goals, if my memory serves me correctly, came from the left hand where he drifted in. The front four having that ability sort of to play anywhere as a defender worries me. So as a fan, it excites me. Am I right in thinking that front four can really sort of be a movable thing and a big threat as a unit?
It's very rare as an Ipswich fan to have a lineup that feels attacking, and that actually does. Although I'm in complete agreement with Ben that what we need to focus on today is defence, not defence, but keeping the scoreline level.
All right, Boris Johnson.
And don't ever call me that. For me, I think the problem is going to be.
Yes.
Shut up. Right. We're going down a conversation I really don't want to be having in front of football fans. For me, the worry is Pompey are good scorers. I was just reading before I came on Andy Warren's article. They are the top scorers in the league. Was quite shocked to see that we're only 7 goals behind them. So it's not a massive gulf. But it does worry me that they're free scoring, and we saw that in the FA Cup game. So for me, the biggest thing is keeping possession. But that team feels like the problem we've got. The stats last Saturday were amazing. It was something ridiculous, like 67% possession. But we keep saying we're getting that possession, but we are not doing anything with it. Those 4 make me feel like we could do something with it. And more importantly, I think with Dizelle and I've gone blank on the name now, but with Nolan, thank you. With Dizelle and Nolan sort of in front of the back 4, it feels like they can focus on supporting the defence while Lancaster, Dobra and Judge can get forward rather than having to do a bit of both, like old Scousey's quite good at swapping between.
I think you're quite right. I mean, Wolfenden and McGuinness, if you look at our bench, who would you rather have in there? Well, certainly sure as hell not Toto, because he's like a nuclear bomb that's always just about to go off. Ken Lock, I wouldn't have him anywhere near the team. Okay, McGabby. But who else would you put in there? So I think you're quite right to your point of Nolan and Dizelle. I think that central piece is the single most important part of today. They have to protect and be with their defenders, with the McGuinness, but they also have to link up with Dobra, Judge and Lancaster. Yeah. Games, it's an old trope, but they're always won and lost in midfield. You can have a fantastic defence and a free scoring attackers, but if there's no one to protect and to link up, it actually doesn't matter. So them 2 today are pivotal. I think they're the 2 most important players on the pitch today. So Nolan, okay, he has a lot of detractors. I'm not one of them. I think he's representative of where we are as a club. He's a pretty good League One player. He's joint top scorer for Christ's sakes, and that's saying something. I mean, I'm not his biggest fan, but for what we can get and who can't play, which is an entire first team, I'm happy having him in there.
Yeah.
Yes,
if I said to you both that Portsmouth have only scored 7 more goals than Ipswich, would you be surprised?
Yeah, I would.
That's what I was saying earlier. I went and checked the stats from Andy Warren's article, and I was like, oh gosh, like 28 goals from Portsmouth, that's really scary. And then I checked us, and I was like, oh, actually, we've not scored that much less. And I think the thing is, like Ben just said, Nolan is our second top scorer, but that's because the goals are kind of coming from across the team, and not the strikers, I hasten to add. But it's because we are getting them, just not very many. That's the problem.
Let's take Nolan's goals out of our season. Where the hell would we be? You think there's this kind of near mutinous?
But then he was bought for his goals. He was bought because he had a goal-scoring season at Shrewsbury. So
he's doing what he was brought in to do.
Finally. And as Cruncher just said, I can't wait for John Nolan 360. That's more the John Nolan we know. Toto, I got your point about Toto, Ben, but I am a bit of a Toto sympathetic.
No,
I do like Toto.
Yeah, I like him. He can be. He's an 80s supercar. When it works, it's fantastic. But there's always a huge problem coming around the corner,
with the
engine's going to blow. But then you'll fix the engine, and you'll have a fantastic journey for 100 miles, and it'll excite you. Then the fuel pump's going to go, and it's going to obliterate everything. He's either really, really good, because I think he's powerful, he's strong, he's quick, and I think the reading of the game, actually, I think he's improved as he's played more. But there's always that apocalypse just round the corner.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Right, so 10-3, 10 minutes. Some people are watching in the ground. We absolutely love you for that, and we appreciate you, and that just shows you can take us anywhere. Last night, we had a very special show with Frank Yallop, a really interesting show. I sat back with a glass of wine. Thank you, Amy. I sat by the glass of wine and listened to the good times that were. The link is in the chat. If you haven't yet watched it, just bookmark it for a time that you've got a spare hour, half hour. You can download it on all good podcast platforms. Just search Talking Town ITFC podcast. You'll find it. Honestly, you won't regret it. So, 9 minutes to kick off. 2,000 fans in the stadium. We'll talk about that at full time. I've got several bees in my bonnet to get off, but they're there. So, what would you be saying if you were Paul Lambert? What would your team talk be? Amy, you can go first.
Stay calm. Stay calm, keep possession, build on it. Remember, like, how we came back last week. But yeah, for me, it would be stay calm. This is a big game. This is a big team, and this is their chance to prove themselves. There's some players in there who I'm thinking Dobra, Dazelle, Nolan. If they can impress today, that they start to become those first players on the team sheet. Now they get to become the backbone of the team. They're young, and this is their year. It has to be their year.
Okay, Corporal Jones, I'm gonna start calling you with that. Don't panic.
I don't mind that. That's cool.
Ben, what would you be saying?
First of all, I think you're fantastic. You're great. Every one of you, you're great. If you go on there, you can see 15 goals. Don't matter. Fantastic. You're fantastic. I love you. If I was Paul today. This is the change, isn't it? This is the first time we've had fans back in the stadium, and I know there's an argument as to boycott about and all that. I'm not on that train. I'm a fan. I want to see him play, and I support anyone who wants to go and see him play. Football is about so much more than football. It's about the whole experience. It's about the community and the togetherness. For me, not for everyone. However, if I was Paul Lambert, I'd say, right, guys, you've got 2,000 people in. There's no more hiding. I would say Lambert has to hide. But there's no hiding now, and if you're going to take your foot off the gas, if you're going to make bad decisions, if you're going to retract, then you're going to know about it today. I can't be out there defending you every week, and this is from the perspective of Paul Lambert, by the way. People are paying money, and there's a risk to doing these things. Forget the greater points about could Essex or Suffolk go into Tier 3? There's the risk of this virus out there. So these fans that have come in today have paid their money, they've paid their time. And you could argue they're taking a risk by actually showing up. So make it worth it. Make it worth their time and their kind of, elective decision to actually go and, risk maybe a few things going to see the game. Some might have had to come on public transport. You don't know. Make it worth their while because we are long suffering and it's time we need a bit of entertainment.
Sorry, that's my fault. My mistake. Sorry. You took a pause and I thought you'd finished.
Yeah, finish. Yeah, that's what I'll be saying. You do it today. It's for the fans. They've been through a lot. We've done everything we can to get them on side. There's a lot of things happening at this club which they will all know about and we don't. Because I'm still convinced there's major shifts going on behind the scenes. So do this one for them today. They're paying time and money at a place where jobs are unsafe. We don't know what the future looks like. They're still choosing to invest their time and their money to come and see you. So go out there and be professional.
Absolutely. Amy, your hat's getting a lot of love on Facebook.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
This is from, I think this was our second year in the Premier League. It was, I don't know if you can see what it says on it, but Santa is a tractor boy. So this is the original Santa is a tractor boy hat. I love it. And my little boy wore it to school yesterday. He asked if he could wear it for Christmas jumper day. So I was like, oh, go on then. I said to his teacher, please don't lose it because it's about 15 years old.
Parenting done right. That really is. I'd just be saying, play without any fear and start fast. Don't give these boys a head start. Yeah. Don't let them get on top of you. Don't let the fans dictate. Maybe it's if it turns a bit negative, just play your football, be on the front foot, and show them what they've been missing, and make the 8,000, 7,000 remaining syndicate holders who are at home that bit more jealous, that bit more frustrated.
That's absolutely true. Make them want to be there. Make them think, shit, right, next time we're in that ballot again. First minute it's open, we're in. We want to come and see our team. Make them jealous. Don't make them think, oh, for Christ's sake, thank God we didn't go today. I follow is good as far as following the team. But for me, and it always has been, football is about so much more than that 90 minutes. Maybe they're going to go into the ground. They're going to walk towards the stadium and see that kind of the hue of the light illuminating the sky. They get excited. They see the people in the stands. How are you doing, mate? You've been safe? Oh, fantastic. God, what a season so far, eh? That's football. And you have to be there to go and experience that. So I'm a massive one for showing up there and showing your support. I hope the fans get behind the team first. You know, we are a bit of moaners, but I think we've had good reason to be. So don't give us the good reason to kind of get dejected. You know, make them bring us along with the journey. We're a one-half team at the moment. It's either the first half or the second half. So if we're going to have a good half, make it the first half. Bring the fans along with you. You know. Absolutely,
I completely agree with you. Yeah, absolutely, and a lot of people do.
Yeah, I think there's a huge chance to. There's a huge chance to set off some really positive momentum now. Like the club and fans have been disconnected for a while, even more so with COVID and not having been able to see them for nearly a year. This is the chance now. Like I said to Martin right at the beginning, it feels like the first game of the season because everybody's going. Like you say, you've just given me goosebumps picturing Portman Road coming up out of the darkness as I'm walking towards the ground. I can feel myself there now, even though I'm hundreds of miles away.
Yeah.
That this is it now. It's time to start bringing us all back together again, and a good, like you say, a good first half. I think you're right. I think if we start to go wrong, if we start to go too slow,
I don't want to hear any moaning today from those 2,000
fans might well get on the back a bit. But let's stick it positive. Exactly. Let's take it on positive
fans,
now.
They're there for all of us. You know, there's arguably probably another 16, 17,000 people that would like to be there. So as I've said constantly on this show, you have a lot of responsibility. Be the voice for the rest of us, even if it goes a bit wrong. I don't know where it's come from. I've just got this kind of wave of optimism today. I feel like we've kind of hit a rock bottom. I hope I'm not wrong with that. Please don't be wrong. But I just feel like, okay, we know what position we're in. Yes, it's all going shit. Yes, there's mutinies everywhere. Yes, there's boycotts. Yes, there's banners everywhere. But come on, let's just kick on. I just feel something might have shifted, and I'm probably going to talk to you in 45 minutes saying what a fool I was to say that. But I don't think we will. I've got a good feeling.
Okay, right.
I think even those of us who want Lambert gone would much rather be wrong and see us win.
Totally enough.
See us win the league.
100%.
Oh, I don't know. I'll do a podcast with a couple of people that might disagree with that. Callie, he doubts 2,000 fans will be there. Michael Finch, I've just found this podcast the last 3 weeks, and I'm glad I did. People talk a lot of sense and a good giggle. You're always welcome here, Michael. You truly are. Stuart's gone for a 3-1 defeat today. Stuart, come on, son, get more positive. King Lambo's in charge.
All predictions.
Leando, the match experience won't be the same. Crunch has gone 2-1. So, bold predictions as we round the show up for the pre-game. What is your bold prediction for today? Amy Downs.
Honestly,
You there? We see you. We hear you.
I think she might have frozen. It's so bold that the internet couldn't handle it.
Absolutely. She's broke the internet.
It broke the internet. So, she's back. Is she back? Yes, she is. She's back.
Sorry, apologies. I am having a bad time. Do you know what it is? We've cancelled Talk. We're swapping over to Sky, and I think they're sticking two fingers up at us for leaving them.
Good luck with that one.
Last 30 seconds. So, Amy, bold prediction. Very quickly, please. Sorry.
I'm nervous about Pompey scoring, but I want to be positive for us. So, this is very, very bold. I'm going to go 3-2, like it was last time, but the other way.
3-2. That was mine. 3-2.
Was it?
3-2.
We are so on a level.
Yeah.
Okay.
3-2.
Well, I always think we're going to win 3-1, as I'm told by Matt on last week's show. So I'm going to say we're going to win 1-0. Boring 1-0. The 2,000
bold?
It's a bold position, man. Bold. Come on.
I know. It's usually me saying that to my guests, but I've been told off for saying 3-1 too often. So 1-0, 89th minute winner. The 2,000 fans will be
on the pitch.
Well, not on the pitch, no, but upset about 75 minutes. You'll hear a few. But here's another question before we close. Will you hear any boos today, do you think?
If we lose, yes.
If we lose, yes.
Thing is, when we've seen it, then when the ground is empty, the noise is sort of pronounced.
Well, they've
we
all
can
just
hear
been
the
clapped
players
on.
talking to each other. That's great.
Good.
But so all it takes is somebody saying, "Oh, for fuck's sake," pardon my French, somebody swearing, and it will echo, and it might sort of echo down the crowd, if you know what I mean. I think it's gonna be very noticeable if there's any grumbles.
Yeah.
Right, we're back at
Mexican wave of S.
We're back at half time. Join us then. See you all at half time.
Come on.